Magandang umaga my friends, this is Ernesto from Games and welcome back to Amorous. Okay, from the recent video we finished the story of Sky and she is not there. That's really sad. Okay, so right now it's been refreshed. That means what I'm going to say is that we can meet another person. Not that we're cheating with Sky, like it's not like that. It's done. Like it's a new it's go it starts from the start. Really, I don't know how to say that. Anyway, so let's start with this guy. Well, I don't know. So here we go, guys. Despite him being alone at the bar of one of the most active nightclubs I'd seen in recent memory, my eyes was drawn to the slender felon leaning over his smoke. He would sit there for a long moment and then, without cue, he would scribble frantically in leather-bound journal spread out before him. Now and then he would lift his glass from the bar and lean back, pausing to take a drink as if someone was expecting him to. This adorable ruse was undermined, however, as each sip was followed by a grimace of barely contained disgust. As about to drink, of course. Why? Let's ask him. I strolled over to the bar as he turned back to his notebook, stopping at the edge before politely cut to bring his attention. He looked up, eyes blinking open wide and his mouth slightly agape. Clearly, he expected to be a little more invisible than he really was. I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you mind if I ask what you're drinking? Oh, oh, it's a 12-year-old Scotch. There's a S there. Oh, it's a 12 years old Scotch. I figured I'd try something a little more direct than usual mixed drinks you'd get at a nightclub. It's very smooth but complex. Do you normally drink glasses of scotch by yourself in a crowded nightclubs? Well, I could just wait at the bar without something in my mind, and there's no better place in town to people watch. So the better question will be, what brought you over here to ask what I was drinking? Because it looked like you were drinking turpentine every time you took a sip. As I settled into the stool next to him, his cheeks flushed his cheeks flushed red as he glanced between me and his drink. I don't really drink much. I assume as much, though that does still beg the question as to why you're in a bar, particularly if you don't drink. Oh, and its case, by the way. Sorry, I knew questions first that isn't exactly the best manner. It just seems a little out of your element. Seth. I'm Seth. Okay. I'll admit, it's an escape, but it's also to help me work through the creative process. Many famous authors immerse themselves in the popular culture of their days, to draw a new experience and observe people in new environments. I suppose that's true. I thought most of them indulge in part because it was their particular interest more than strict research. You don't strike me as the type to write romance or erotic, though. Why did you think that? I mean, I don't, but why would you assume that it's the only motivation for me to be at this club? Mostly because even the bouncer are wearing half the clothing you are, and because I came here with my brother Kobe. Especially because this is his favorite place to meet guys for a fling. You have to admit, your series of ambience suggests something more than just curiosity about popular culture. By now, he was blushing furiously, a spot of red visible beneath his snowy white cheeks fur. Despite his attempt at appearing aloof, something spoke about his relative discomfort in being here. Feel sick right now. Why am I recording? Anyway, I'm not here to judge. It's just, well, interesting. I got enough stories from Kobe to get an idea of how this place tends to function, and you appear to be actively avoiding that function. Well, I I'm hope I'm honing my craft, trying to push myself outside my comfort zone, so I have a reason of experience to write from. It's the sort of things us authors do. Authors do. Authors. Uh, uh, Let me search about this thing. How to pronounce that word?
Otter, author,
I pronounce author into authors. Not so good at pronouncing words when some words are cannot be pronounced by me, and even my English is so bad. Anyway, so you're a writer? Yeah. So you're a writer. Maybe you're writing something I've heard of before. What do you have out there? Well, I'm not published per se. I'm building a body of work before I approach anyone. I wouldn't want to come off as some sort of dilettante. Dilettante. So you're just like title? Uh, so you just like to call yourself a writer without actually writing anything yet? You were worried about coming off as a dilettante? Dilettante. Ah, correct my English. I do write. I'll have you know. In fact, I've been working on a little something right now. It's part of the reason I'm here and not at home. Too many directions there. A pansexual multi-tier nightclub with a dance floor and a pool is less direction than your house. Do you live in a disco ball? His ears fluttered against his skull as his nose twinkled and twitched. It seems that this line of conversation was hitting a nerve. Apologize. Apologize. Sorry, I mean, to each their own, but you have to at least admit that it's a little strange. I mean, most people go to someplace quite to think. I admit, it's a little odd. I get tired of living alone. Sometimes I just want to get out and be around people. Writing is a very solo thing. I got that. It's the biggest reason I agreed to tag along tonight. Sometimes you just need to be around other people. Well, if I may be so bold that, what brought you to the club tonight? Since you clearly aren't driven by a desire to quietly observe, nor are you obviously looking to get drunk or dance, I'm curious as to what your motivations is. Mostly, I guess, to keep myself occupied and distracted. Kobe, my brother, very much like this place, doesn't doesn't always want to go alone. I needed time away from my problems, and he wanted a ride. A match made in, well, necessarily. Well then, where else might you have gone if you had the option? Ignoring cost, location, or any of that? Somewhere quite, somewhere interesting, I guess. I've always wanted to travel around a bit more, see a few other places. I haven't had much of a... Okay, this seems odd. This is really unfortunate. See a few other places. I haven't had much of a chance to get out of town, maybe even travel to another country and immerse myself in the culture. I mean, it's a great here, but sometimes you just want to explore. My answer seems to intrigue him. His head bobbed a few times in agreement as he jotted down a few notes. I've always thought it was important to learn things about another culture. It helps you to better understand your own, not to mention the sheer joy of exploring. He seemed to be rather thrilled with his interrogation. He looked back up from his notebook with excitement. So being what we are in this club, and you already experienced curiosity as to why I'm here, what do you like about this club? Socializing, I guess. Even I don't already don't have that things. When I'm feeling moppy or just have too much time, I like to find other people to be around. Conversation, laughing, and banter between friends really helps to perk me back up. He looked a little surprised, jotting down a few extra lines in his notebook before glancing back up at me. I suppose I should be flattered. You've directly your attention to just me then. Extroverts commonly don't enjoy engaging with me for extended periods of time. Extroverts. Oh, I know about that thing. So we've established where you want to be and why you want to be there. But the big question is, who do you want to be there with? What kind of person will you be looking for at this club? I got the feeling that this is somewhat pointed question. I also got the feeling that there is something more going on here than simple research. He shot me a sheer cat grin and placed a hand on his chest in mock shock. Clearly, he was enjoying this intimate game of 20 questions. Someone handsome, someone interesting, someone bald. You got the point? These two questions seems the same, I guess. Someone bold, someone interesting. Don't tell him that him. I mean, I'm hoping to meet someone interesting, someone with stories and sort of confidence, charm that enrapture you. The kind of person you can have a good laugh or a thoughtful discussion with. Apparently, I said the right thing. A smile spread across his lips before resting the pen on the table, without even looking at the notebook. He continued. I agreed completely. Looks can be nice, but if there's no substance behind them, then what's the point? A wholly rounded individual is far more important than just one aspect. I gotta sneeze again. Alright, one more question and then I really should find Kobe and figure out what he was planning for the rest of the night. I suppose I have been praying pretty heavily. That said, you have been a very interesting character study to say the least. It's rare I actually get to interact with someone. I'd hope I was more than just an intellectual diversion. Is that not the case? I didn't mean it like that. I mean, it's been interesting talking with you. I've been here for a couple of hours already and you're the first person who stopped to talk that didn't want to take a drink order. I smiled and leaned on the bar. He was awful cute when he desperately tried to regain his composure. So what's the last question? He hesitantly glanced down at his notebook for a second before scrubbing something in the margins. As he looked back up, I could see his cheeks were still quite flushed. Excuse me? I was heading to the library tomorrow to do some research for our story, and there was a reading I was thinking of going to. Could I convince you to come along? Of course, always go with the sure. I'd love to. What time? Really? I mean, great. The reading is a little before noon, but I'll be there early. Let me give you my number so you can call and let me know when you get there. Now we get his number. Easy peasy. He tore off the corner of the notebook page absently, leaving a snip of poetry in the upper half, and passed it to me. Absent-mindedly. That's the... how can I can't pronounce that word? Anyway, thanks. I'll be nice to have someone else there. It's always a little awkward to go alone. Sounds like a date then. I suppose it is. I need to get going, but be sure to call me as soon as you're up. I'll make sure to save us a seat. After gathering his things, he shot me another adorable smile and strolled off towards the door. I folded up the paper and slipped it into my pocket. Wow. I just want to say that's a really short episode. So yes. So in the next video, we might get to the reading as what he said. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you new here, subscribe. This is Ernesto and I'm signing out.